So, Wave 1 of the Mario Kart 8 DLC came out last week. Very excited for that. So, yeah, I just thought I'd make an opinion of video about it. And yes, I know fully well that this is a week late. I apologise for that. But yeah, I have been playing a lot of Mario Kart since it came out. It definitely did get me back into the game. And I'm just going to say it right now. I'm very happy with this DLC so far. I'm really enjoying the tracks. And I just thought I'd explain, like the tracks, which ones I like, which ones I don't like, just my general opinions on like the graphics and music and stuff, and my wishes and all that. There was another draft of this video though that was a complete utter mess. Long story short, when I was like coming up with the video, I went from talking about the Booster Course Pass to then I was going on a massive tangent about like the retro tracks and all of that, which I'll get into more detail on that later. And then there was another idea that I completely forgotten what the idea was, but oh well. So yeah, this is going to be I'm going to do another Mario Kart video where I discuss the ideas that definitely wouldn't fit thematically into this one to avoid this video being basically one long tangent, which admittedly is something I'm very good at doing. So, my thoughts on the Booster Course Pass as a whole. As I said in the direct video I did, I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm very glad the DLC exists. Like, I think I'd rather like one enormous game rather than like another game that's going to be on the same console and will be voicing and all that kind of stuff. Very happy about the DLC. I'm fine with how the tracks look, and overall I do think that the new tracks fit perfectly into the collection of the old ones. I don't notice too much of like a divide between the old tracks and the new tracks gameplay wise. So yeah, overall pretty happy. I'm very happy with this. And, as an avid mobile game and microtransactions hater, I've never played Tour, and never will, so it'll be nice actually being able to get to play these Tour tracks. But yeah, overall, this video is mostly just my thoughts on the Booster Course Pass, and I think the best way of doing that is by going through each track one by one in, well, I'm not going to say no particular order, it is going to be an order that carries on my points and all that, but, well, technically it's no particular order. So, I'm going to start off with the Tour tracks, starting off with Tokyo Blur. And yes, I know I said I was very happy with this DLC, but honestly, I'm not huge on Tokyo Blur. Like, my main issue with the city tracks that are in this is that it feels scaled too big. In Paris, that is the one turn near the beginning, it feels too big to really like drift on efficiently. And I use outside drift bikes 99% of the time. And Tokyo Blur is just like full of these awkward turns. Like, they're not turns that I think are very fun to drive on, they just feel way too big, like without too much to do. Well, I love the aesthetic in like Tokyo Blur, and I love the music, but the track is not one I'd really like pick to play on. As for Paris Promenade, I think it suffers from the similar problems to Tokyo Blur, but it's only really that one turn that I really not like huge on, and everything past that is pretty fun for a track. Like, I like the piranha plant, I like the split paths between where you can go down the Eiffel Tower and get an item box or go around the other landmark that I can't remember the name of. This course has so many landmarks I feel like I should know the names of, but I don't. And I also think the gimmick of going around the lap backwards for the last lap is cooler than Tokyo Blur's like different route for each lap gimmick, even though it only affects one of the laps instead of all three. It's just ingenious. How did they think of that? I'm very impressed. Oh yeah, I should probably comment on that multiple route gimmick. Yeah, honestly, I do think it's very cool, but not really necessary. I'd rather have like one 3-lap course that's really fun to drive on all 3 laps than having 3 kind of okay laps, like, but they're different. So yeah, it's a pretty cool gimmick, but in Tokyo's case especially, I don't think it was executed too well. Not because the gimmick wasn't executed too well, just because the track isn't very good in my opinion. And the last Tour track that's got added, the one that I feel like everyone's talking about, is of course Ninja Hideaway. Which, okay, this track is amazing, I really, really like it. I love all the split paths, I love that shortcut if you go down the bottom section. And overall, it's a very hard track, which I like. Especially because, well, I play on 200cc, of course I like it. But yeah, very fun track, I do very much like it. The only parts I'm not like huge on are some of the parts I feel like the road size is really weird and you can fall off too easily, and the fact that Lakitu likes to take you on a 3-mile journey every time you fall off the stage. But apart from that, very fun track, very happy it's in the game. And I'll probably pick it online every once in a while once the DLC bias wears off. As for the other tracks, I'll just start on Chocolate Mountain just because I have a relative amount to say on it. I've not played Mario Kart 64. I did play this track on DS though, and I had a pretty love-hate relationship with it. I used to be very bad at this course, but looking back on it, like right before, I was thinking about this course a lot right before the DLC came out, and looking back on it, yeah, it was quite a good course actually. I liked it. I do think this new version of Chocolate Mountain is better and has more memorable moments, but I miss that part of the track where you could just bash people onto the lower portion of the track. That was the iconic part. So I don't know whether I like this new version more or the DS version more. I mean, it was definitely felt like a more memorable track overall on DS, but I still like it. It's here. Still a good track. Never going to complain about playing it, but it is definitely the one I've forgotten about almost the most in this pack. But yeah, still a good track, still glad it's here. And as for Sky Garden, which is another track I remember liking on DS, yeah, it's different. It's barely recognisable as Sky Garden, but it's still a fun track. It was a fun track on DS, they reworked it, and now it's a fun track again. It just feels like two different tracks. But yeah, I still think it's pretty decent. My only complaint about it is it feels way too short. Like, it feels like laps are over in like 2 seconds. Baby Park doesn't count because it has 7 laps and that's literally the entire gimmick. Will mention though, I hate the remix of the Sky Garden theme in Tour. I cannot stand that remix. So the new remix just makes me happy. Like, it's a good new remix in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I like it a lot. Next I'm going to talk about Shroom Ridge, which is definitely my second favourite track in this collection. I love Shroom Ridge now. I don't remember it being a very memorable track back on DS. Even like looking back at footage, it doesn't feel like the most memorable track, but I really like car tracks, and Shroom Ridge is infinitely better than Toad's Turnpike, and no one can tell me otherwise. Very glad it's in this game, really enjoy the track, and it's also pretty hard and fun to like avoid the cars. I like it a lot. And my favourite track in this collection is definitely Coconut Mall. It's my second favourite Mario Kart track of all time. Well, it was before the DLC came out, behind Super Bell Subway. But yeah, this was the one I was most excited for to come back, and I'm really enjoying it now. Now, I heard a lot of people online saying, oh, Coconut Mall was ruined because they removed the moving cars. Yeah, it's one minor section of the track. You don't like Coconut Mall just for that section. Yes, it was better when the cars moved, but it's still Coconut Mall, and it's still a good track. And I think the track looks really good, even if it took me a while to get used to the saturation. And yeah, this is still Coconut Mall. They didn't change very much. Why are people moaning this hard about it? It really gets to me. I've also been training a lot on, well, I say training, but I've just been playing it a lot, on Time Trials 200cc Coconut Mall. I think I'm getting pretty decent at it, and I'm enjoying myself quite a lot, so that's good. And oh yeah, Toad Circuit exists, doesn't it? Yeah, that's pretty much my whole opinion on it. Like, it's not a not fun track. I do actually enjoy driving on it more than I enjoyed Tokyo Blur, but I do think it was a bit of a waste of a slot to give it to this forgettable circuit track. Like, there are, even among circuit tracks, like the first ones, there are more memorable ones out there. But yeah, oh well. It's just one track. It's relatively fun to drive on, but I don't think I'll ever pick this one online. If you want to see my rankings of all the tracks from what my favourite to my least favourite, boom, here you go. That feels weird to say because I'm not actually looking at it at the moment. Like, I'm recording this before I'm editing it. Oh well. Next, I'm just going to talk about the music for a little bit, because, yeah, it's very good. Very, very good. My favourite tracks in this DLC are Tokyo Blur, despite it being my least favourite track. Oh yeah, track's a double meaning, isn't it? My favourite song in the DLC is definitely Tokyo Blur. I can't get enough of this song. I can get enough of the course it's on, but the song is great. And also Shroom Ridge, which is on a course I actually like, but the song is just so good. Like, and I swear, it sounds still like a DS track, but remastered, and it just makes me so nostalgic for back on DS. Like, I love this new song. Perfect. I love the new track Shroom Ridge. I love the song Shroom Ridge. I love both meanings of track. But yeah, hugely happy with these remixes. And as I mentioned earlier, I hate the remix of the Sky Garden theme in Tour, but this new one is really good. I really like it. Is it better than the one on DS? I don't know, probably not, but I do still really like it, and it just makes me happy. Especially when I found out that they made a new remix for it, and I just had a big fat smile on my face. Ninja Hideaway also gets stuck in my head for ages. Very good track. Song, the Toad Circuit remix is also very good. It was also the first one I heard. Paris Promenade's very good. Choco Mountain is also very good. Like, I'm not huge on this, like, not as big on it as I am on the others, but still, good song. The only one I'm a bit over is the new Coconut Mal remix, which, it's not as good as the original one on the Wii in my opinion, but it's still the Coconut Mall theme. You can't go wrong. Maybe it's because the Wii songs aren't that compressed. Like, they're not orchestrated, but they're not that compressed. There's not really many places to go with them. And the Coconut Mouth theme's so iconic that I feel like the way they made the song is... It's just, when they remix the song, it just doesn't sound the same, and I think I prefer the original version. But like I said, Coconut Mouth theme, can't go wrong. Overall, I'm hugely happy with the music on these new tracks. Music is something that's very important to me in games anyway, and I am so happy that they, like, start doing new songs with these DLCs. Like, oh, I'm so, like, I cannot wait for the newer ones. I've also been listening to some of the Tour City tracks that aren't in the game's themes yet, and let's just say I'm looking forward to a remix of that Sydney theme when it comes in, because let's face it, all the city tracks are probably coming in. The one thing I do need to talk about, because this is the thing that everyone's talking about, is the graphics on these tracks, and hate me for this all you want, I think the tracks look good. I like the cartoonish art style, it definitely clashes with Mario Kart 8's art style, but they still look good. The only things that don't look good is like the grass and sand on the tracks, most noticeable on Toad Circuit, but even then, you barely notice them when you're actually driving, and when you're actually on the tracks, I think they look good. Like, I'm happy with this. I'm someone who does believe in quality over quantity, but if the quality is sacrificing the graphics, I don't think I care too much. If that's going for graphics or something I don't care about too much unless it's actually really bad, for like 48 extra tracks, I'm happy with the graphics. I'm happy with the graphics. I'm going to keep saying that because I know that's quite a controversial opinion. The only course that I think that doesn't look that good is Toad Circuit, but it's Toad Circuit and I don't really care about that track anyway. So yeah, graphics fine, and I honestly don't understand why, like, the DLC is getting so much hate for it. If you don't enjoy the tracks driving on them, yeah, perfectly fine. It's just I don't see why and I see why people don't like the graphics, but I feel like people are taking it a little too seriously on it personally. The other thing that I heard some people complain about is, oh, there's no anti-gravity sections on the tracks, there's no underwater sections on the tracks. And yeah, that's another thing I have a complaint about. Give me one place in any of these tracks where you could fit either of them in. The only place that I've heard that could possibly have some anti-gravity sections in are the walls on the Coconut Mall stairs. But even then, like, who's gonna take those walls? Like, it's not gonna be something that anyone's gonna use. And I think that the anti-gravity pads would look worse anyway. Like, it's just, after a certain track in 7, which I will go into a lot more detail about in the next video I'm going to upload, it's basically, if you have these gimmicks, don't force them onto retro tracks that don't need them. Like, yeah, I'm all for sprucing up the old retro tracks and giving them these new gimmicks, but only if there's like a natural, logical place where they could go. And in all of these new DLC tracks, there are no logical places where these gimmicks could go, so why would they add them? I'm just sick of people saying that this is a sign of low effort because they're not trying to update the tracks. Personally, I'd rather have some good retro tracks than trying to remove iconic sections of the track to shove these gimmicks in, which basically turn the track into a straight road. Sorry, going on a little tangent there, it's just something that annoys me. I'll go into more detail on this in the next video if you're interested, which you probably aren't. Now, you might be thinking, well, Blue, what tracks do you want in the DLC? Because I know every single person on the planet is making this list right now. Well, I mean, not every person on the planet has Mario Kart, But yeah, I am going to talk about like what tracks I want, and if you know me anywhere else online, you probably already know, but I'm going to repeat it here anyway. My top 3 tracks are by far the Woohoo Island Tractor 7 and DK Summit / DK Snowboard Pass, or whatever it is in the UK, from Wii. Most of the content on Mario Kart I see online is American, and it's been so long since I played Wii that I actually know the US names better than the UK ones, despite being from the UK. So I'm just gonna refer them to the names that I know them by. If that swap like flip-flops back and forth, then I'm sorry. But yeah, those are my top 3 tracks. The Woohoo Island ones are because they're just very good tracks. I love one-lap courses. And Woohoo Islands as a whole, one of my favourite locations in gaming. I love it so much. I really want those tracks back. As for DK Summit, like, I'm a little more dubious on this one because I don't know how they get it to work without half pipes. But even without it, it's just such a fun stage, such a memorable one. I really like it, really want it to come back. The other stages that I would like to see are Airship Fortress, DK Mountain, Maple Treeway is a popular choice, and as well as Waluigi Pinball, I'd both like to see both of them back. On Moonview Highway's 100% up there, really want to see that one back. DS's Bowser's Castle and Rainbow Road I both want back, more than any of the other Bowser's Castles and Rainbow Roads. One of them because it's really good, and the other for nostalgia. Both of them partially nostalgia, to be perfectly honest, but yeah, really want both of these back. And also Mushroom City on Double Dash, just because I've never played it and the track looks amazing. So yeah, that's pretty much my list. If you disagree with any of that, which you probably do, well, there's so many free tracks out there that everyone's probably going to get at least one of their favourites in this. I'm just hoping for a good fun track selection that will make Mario Kart 8 really good. Now that is the end of the video. I'm just going to touch on one thing real quick that some people might have noticed, because I don't think I've discussed this anywhere yet. But yeah, I have a new avatar that I drew the other day. I mostly did this just because I can get more emotion out of this new avatar in OC than I could out of the Scolipede. But doesn't mean I don't like Scolipede still best bug. But still, it's also nice to have like something I drew myself be like the cover of my channel and stuff. Just thought I'd do a little side note at the end here. Okay, bye. I'm gonna be an adult before all these tracks come out, dear God.